What's up and welcome to Hoops and Cards. I'm Gary. I'm your host. It's great to be with you as we begin to wrap up the year 2022. Hoops and Cards for basketball card collectors and investors around the world. Maybe you know we're part of the Basketball Forever podcast network. We're excited to partner with many others across this great hobby and industry. What is it? A place for collectors? Yeah. I hope you've got some cards that you love this year, or you're looking to find players and products that you're interested in buying. We'll talk about some of that stuff. We always do. That's how I got back into this personally, was just wanting to collect players and follow the NBA with my home team, with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Even though I'm wearing a 76ers, got to represent the 76ers and the Philadelphia. All of our Tyrese Maxey fans out there. Hope he gets well soon. You guys, that micro fracture in his foot, like that's taken a little bit. That's taken some time. So he's out. In fact, one of the frustrating things for NBA teams for sure, and for sports card collectors and investors this season has been the up and downs, the injuries, the players that maybe you bought into and you said, this guy looks great. And everybody else, in this hobby recommended buying LaMelo Ball. And then he was out for the first almost 2 months. Now he's back playing great basketball, looking good. But there's still guys like Anthony Davis, Tyrese Maxey, Desmond Bane, Cade Cunningham, like out for the season, players that we just love. And today on Hoops and Cards, we're going to talk a little bit about some of our end of the year shout outs. I want to give thanks and wish you guys a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, wherever you're at in the world. We have so much to be thankful for, and it's been a great year. You guys, it's been a great year. Even though the market, the cards maybe you bought 6 months ago aren't worth what you had hoped they'd be, you bought those cards at the end of last basketball season, and you're waiting for what's around the corner. You're waiting for Christmas Day with all those like globally televised games for the NBA. They pick some of their marquee teams, and we'll talk about those games and some players to watch. But also the new year, the all-star push into February, the playoff race, the MVP chase, all those things. Those could have gone into, why I bought the players I did. For sure, I try to be, as much as I love doing this for fun, I also like making a little money on the side and want to add value to those of you trying to do that. We partner with several companies or like content creators really that help in the hobby, help you get the resources you need, like nooffseason.com and their premium content, like Sports Card Investor and their Market Movers app, like other podcasts that we love to listen to and learn from all the time, like Slab Stocks and Card Talk and Pack to the Future and Lucas Tigers and Bronze. There's so many great options. Hoops and Cards, here we focus mostly on basketball, on the NBA, and you'll hear talk about players that are breaking out and playing better than they ever have, or getting more opportunities than they ever have. Shout out Emmanuel Quickly these last few games. He's a starter. Somebody needs to like permanently recognize that and start him if it's alongside Brunson. Fine. Like we follow and track with the NBA, you guys. We track with, Pascal Siakam had 52 points the other night. And that's just in line with the kind of MVP caliber season that he's having. Here's a guy that has been relatively healthy this year after being injured for at least half of last season, or a chunk of the beginning of the season, But the question could be, hey, he's playing great on the court, but what is it doing, number one, for his team? Like, do the Raptors have a playoff chance? It's not looking great. And then what about his card values? If I buy a Pascal Siakam card, you have heard me talk about him. I like him as a player. We like to break down and process together and learn from each other. It is not just Gary here sitting in his 76ers dispensing wisdom and like all this knowledge, like I know the future and, what a player is going to do and who's going to stay healthy. I kind of dabbled in buying Anthony Davis cards over the last month or so, and I'm glad I didn't. I bought a very cheap raw Panini Anthony Davis rookie and sent it to PSA at the $15, grading rate, just in case, right? And I enjoy him as a player, Lakers as a team, but yeah, I'm glad. I get nervous about investing in players that have certainly chronic injuries, guys that have been out for a long time. Zion Williamson is, in the process of proving us wrong. In fact, at Hoops and Cards, you will scroll back into some of our previous episodes. You new listeners, you need to do this. Scroll back into our previous episodes all the way back to March of 2021, and you'll see a couple of recurring themes. One is the Basketball Cards 101 series, where we talk about basic things that are just great for you to know, introductory level or foundational level essentials for you as a collector or investor and what's out there in basketball cards. So Basketball Cards 101. But then also you'll see about every 3-4 weeks, maybe sometimes it's every 3 or 4 episodes. We were doing 5 buys, usually 5 players to buy or 5 types of cards to look at right now, leaning into what they could be doing in the next 3 to 6 weeks, and a chance for a quick flip or a chance for a long-term, hey, I bought it when it was really a good deal and I love this player or this card and I'm going to sell it maybe in the future. I may just keep it for a long time because I like that player. Usually our 5 buys list, if I were to come on here today, December 22nd or 3rd, whenever you're listening to this, come on here today and say like, yeah, the 5 buys, let me count it down. And I would rattle off names like LaMelo Ball, Zion Williamson, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, maybe Jason Tatum, maybe Pascal Siakam. There's a lot of guys whose card markets have room to grow, and Donovan Mitchell being another one. They could go up in the next, I'm especially thinking of the All-Star game, 6 or 7 weeks. Those players, you have a chance to flip and make some money on. I say that based on personal experience and using the Market Movers app. I go back in and I look at, you can't just limit yourself to the timeframes they have, like 30 days, 90 days, 360 days. Like you can actually set, if you wanted to go back all, the last 3 years, what has the Zion card market done, right? What has the Anthony Edwards rookie card market done? And you can see for some of these players, a jump in February because there was a spotlight on them. All-Star game, All-Star MVP, All-Star snub. Sometimes the snubs get them, or like, why did that guy get in? And, sometimes it's because other players were injured and things. But you'll see that's kind of why I'm recommending that. I've seen the market rise. I've seen players' cards and interest in them and popularity in them rise a bit. Our YouTube channel is a bit new. If you're listening to us on the podcast, maybe you want to check out the Hoops and Cards YouTube channel. We also joined Amazon and Audible this week, so you can find Hoops and Cards there. You can recommend it to family and friends to listen to our free podcast. That's great because there's so many different platforms. And I mean, I don't know what you listen on. Maybe you listen on, my dashboard tells me most of you are on Apple Podcasts in your iPhone, but some of you might listen on, Overcast or Google Hangouts. No, not Google Podcasts, Spotify. There's a lot of those things now. Audible, Amazon. Some of the kids are on Twitch. Any of you guys use Twitch? Should I be on Twitch? I don't want to do like 86 platforms and then have none that are like quality. I want to just the podcast and YouTube seem like the bread and butter. Speaking of bread and butter, I had toast and eggs for breakfast, and you're like, dude, get to the episode, get to the things. So I want to talk just for a moment about this week. This week in basketball. Sunday, you've got 5 games on national or global TV. 5 games where the NBA said at the beginning of the season, they made the schedule. They said these are marquee, like top elite level teams, or at least they have elite level talents. And, if you're looking for players to invest in or moments that could be big and a turning point, and when there are players that have been playing great ball, but maybe nobody's noticed, like they haven't seen them on big primetime television games or playoff games or all-star game type things. There are guys that are like ramping up to take a hold of some of those moments. And on New Year's Day, the first game is the 76ers against the Knicks. Bummer for Sixer fan, right? We're without Maxey. That's not cool. And the Knicks are playing extremely well. The Sixers, you might be like, man, Joel Embiid, another MVP candidate, chase for him. Maybe but for some reason, and centers just don't capture the hearts of fans or the money of card investors like guards and forwards or more high flying, fast moving dudes. Like if they ever did, it would be Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic, but it just doesn't happen as quickly. So speaking of quickly, dude, the Knicks, yeah, I got to go ahead and pick the Knicks to win since I'm like talking about the game. Julius Randle is playing like an all-star again. And I went out on a limb 2 years ago and said when he was an all-star, his first time in a Knicks uniform, that he was a guy I was investing in and recommending and collecting myself. Still have a few Julius Randle's cards. Thank you, Brett. You gave me one free, dude. Thank you so much. One of our Hoops Plus members and part of the Hoops Plus Discord, or Hoops and Cards Discord. Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, Obi Toppin. I get questions about the Knicks all the time. Jalen Brunson, and they're putting something interesting together. In fact, as they figure out how to use these young pieces like Quentin Grimes and Mitchell Robinson and Obi Toppin, the Knicks do have the talent to be a playoff team this year. But I'm suspending. I'm like putting a hold on buying any Knicks personally, and I would just say watch some of those guys, because New York's a huge market. Because if they make a playoff run, there will be a spotlight on big game players and big game moments. And Jalen Brunson is so capable of that stuff. So is Julius Randle. I like Quentin Grimes as a cheap buy. I bought a Quentin Grimes Silver Prism rookie for like $3 or $2 the other day. So there are cheap ways to get in on a Knick. But the second game is Lakers Mavericks, and talk about two disappointing teams. You know, the Lakers dealing with all their drama with Russell Westbrook and then the Anthony Davis injury. Well, they're still fun to watch. They still got Russell Westbrook. They started playing better before AD went down. They've got some young pups like Lonnie Walker and Thomas Bryant and Austin Reeves. LeBron James is the solid buy as far as cards go, or the solid hold at least. I'm not buying LeBron James cards right now. I did some of that in the summer. I'm not recommending them right now unless you want to buy and hold long term on his. But going up against the Mavericks, man, Luka Doncic, awesome. The rest of the team, not so much. I don't, sometimes I'll get messages from Dallas Maverick fan or Laker fan asking me about players down the line on their team. And I can't come out to you and say, yeah, I really recommend you buy some Dorian Finney-Smith. Or who's a sneaky play in the card hobby? Spencer Dinwiddie. Now, dude has potential to eventually be the number 2 scorer on this team in the playoffs in some big moments. But right now, I'm just not seeing it. And, we just talked about the Knicks. I cannot believe, listen to some Knicks fan podcast, I can't believe they let Brunson go for nothing. Mavericks let him go. But it'll be fun to see Luka against LeBron. That's why they put that game on primetime. Bucks against Celtics. Now, there's a different story. 2 top teams in the East, 2 incredible players, Giannis, Jason Tatum, 2 great sidekicks on both teams. You've got, the Bucks have Middleton and Drew Holiday, and the Celtics have Jaylen Brown and the famous, what's his cheese? Because sometimes his cheese is Marcus Smart, and sometimes his cheese is Robert Williams III, and sometimes it's what's his I can't. Oh my gosh, they have other Celtic players, don't they? Oh, Grant Williams, yeah, G Willie, yeah, Grant Williams. But I have this season, I have looked at my own collection, my own portfolio of investments, and said, you know what? I don't have enough. I don't have any really good Ja Morant. Oh wait, wrong team. Jason Tatum or Giannis. I needed to get those cards. And so I bought a couple of, and this is Gary, I'm going to give you a sad story. I bought a couple of raw rookies of Giannis and sent them into PSA. And the rookies of Giannis are 2013. That's almost 10 years ago. And I went lower end because sometimes I'm working on a budget and didn't want to go all in on Giannis cards, but I did go in and get NBA hoops and prestige. And one of them graded as a 9. So that I was able to, I can't remember if I traded it or resold it or something, but I gained value in that. The other one, the NBA hoops card didn't do so well. Number 275, that 2013. I got a PSA 7. Yeah, PSA 7. So that might go into the PC because I just want to have a Giannis rookie for long term. And I don't know if I could make any money on the flip. In fact, some of you are saying, dude, just crack the case and sell it raw, or crack it. I might do that. If any of you guys know how to crack cases. Crooks, I might be calling you up, man. We got to get together anyway. So maybe you can crack the case for me or show me how to just smash it without smashing it. You don't want to crack the case and then ruin the card even more. I mean, it's already didn't get a PSA 8 yet. So anywho, Jason Tatum, I did the same thing with. I bought a cheap Donruss rated rookie. I saw it in person. And I'm like, I'm sending this in $15. You know, that deal on grading at PSA right now is awesome. It's these grades for me more than pay for themselves. I got one group sub in the mail yesterday. It was mail day. Today, got a notice that I'm getting more in the mail, you know, another package. So another, what is it? 15 curds that I can't wait to show you guys. So the next game is Memphis and Golden State without Steph Curry. So your relatives that are like, I can't wait to see Steph and Clay and Dre and like, it's not going to happen. You're going to watch Jordan Poole. You're going to watch James Wiseman. Here's another tease, man. Like, especially when it's one of these young rookies and everybody's like trying to find the hot name. I know that there are times when I sound the alarm on a guy that's lesser known. That's one of the fun things about doing a podcast and being in a conversation with a lot of you. Like, who's the next Maxey? Who's the next Bain? Who's the next Halliburton? Well, I'm kind of not looking at any of the Golden State young players. And this isn't just Gary saying, I'm a Cleveland fan. I don't like Golden State. I'm not over the 2017. I mean, all that's true, but I'm like Kuminga, Moody, James Wiseman, you know, okay. You know, none of these guys look like they're going to get serious playoff playing time anytime soon. And if I'm looking at Golden State Warriors who have a chance to gain in value, I guess I'm looking more at short term. Hey, if you want to buy a good Steph card while he's out and then sell it when he comes back, I don't blame you. That's a good idea, you know, especially knowing he's going to lead them to another playoff, some sort of appearance. And he's got all-star, you know, as long as he gets back in time, he's going to be an all-star. I don't see why not. The other guy I would be curious about right now is Mr. Jordan Poole. And I haven't loved Jordan Poole because he's in that same class with other guys that I just focused more attention on, namely Darius Garland, Ja Morant, you know, and just waiting to see what Poole is in Golden State long-term. Is he a long-term starter for somebody, or is he going to be sixth man? I feel similarly about Tyler Hero, like now that he's starting, great for him. But like Jordan Poole, while Curry is out, is getting a lot more run. And so his card value, you know, I think would be a good play or good worth considering. I would do the same with him. I would wait, and my PSA results are telling me be far more detailed, specific, tough when I look to grade a card before, you know, I want to grade it before I send it in. I want to say, I don't see any like weird scratches or smudges or dimples. I don't see any like bendy things. I don't see a print line, and neither do 5 of my friends. Like I show it to Larry and Matt and Carla. I show it to Brandon and Anthony and Dave and Mike and all you dudes at Shag Sports Cards. Shout out to your breaks, you breakers. Some of you message me and you're like, hey, where can I find some decent breaks? I don't, you know, I'm tired of losing money buying all these wax boxes myself. Where can I find some breaks? Check out Shag Sports Cards on YouTube. They do some good stuff and some regular breaks. So shout out to you guys. Why am I saying I would want other people looking at my cards before I submit them. Memphis though against Golden State. Now they know how to pick young talent. Like they know how to find the guys, and they're such a fun team to watch. And they're near the top of the West this season without having their big 3 or their big 4 playing together very much. I don't know if they've played together at all. Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson, Ja Morant. You're like, what? I thought you were going to say Santi Aldama, Zaire Williams, and Xavier Till. No. I know you guys like to prospect. I know you're like, come on, man. You know, mention my guy. I don't know who your guy is. I like Ja Morant as this season and the rest of his career to be just I'm not going to say Kobe. I'm not going to say Michael. I'm not going to say Allen Iverson. I'm just going to say Ja Morant is awesome. He's awesome. He's a leader, and Memphis is great. This is the other thing. Memphis is great at identifying young talents and making good deals, you know, to put around a guy like Ja Morant. So getting Bain, he is not a sidekick to anybody. He's like a second piece in a big 3 that they're hoping includes Jaren Jackson Jr. So I like Memphis. They should be fun to watch. I have bought. Okay, I have a chunk of Jaren Jackson Jr. cards and a chunk of Ja Morant cards and a chunk of Desmond Bane cards. Not really buying many more of those. For Christmas, I did. Oh, is it too early to say what I got for Christmas? It's not even Christmas. Never mind. I'll just say it has something to do with the Desmond Bane Silver Prism PSA 9 for $30 on eBay, like I'm winning an auction. Other than that, I'm not going to say much about it. The last two teams that play on Christmas Day are the Suns and the Nuggets. The Suns and the Nugs. And the Suns are a frustrating team right now. So frustrating. Cam Johnson out, Jay Crowder holding out. DeAndre Ayton is like the one consistent dude, right? Chris Paul up and down, Devin Booker, great, but I don't see any new horizons for him. I don't see him getting any new accolades or new achievements. I just see him being a 25 to 30 point scorer on a playoff team that has been there already. So Devin Booker, but look at them Nuggets, look at Denver, look at the Joker, look at the 27 rebound game and the triple double and say, if he wins a third MVP, number one, it might be fully deserving. Number two, he's doing it again without a healthy Michael Porter Jr. And number three, gosh, there is no number three. I just like the Joker. I really like him. And yet, dude, I said earlier, the center's card values aren't great. The center's card markets do not rise quickly. People do not chase after and search for centers. In fact, it would not surprise me if I heard, or if you said, or if market movers told me, hey man, the most increased value of a Denver Nuggets card or a player's cards over the last 9 months or whatever, wouldn't surprise me if you said it's Bones Highland. Nahshon, if you want to win the trivia questions on your, Jackbox TV quiz games, it's Nahshon Bones Highland. And, sometimes I look at his box score and watch his game and I'm like, that kid's awesome. Look at those stats. He had 27 again. Looking like he's showing the potential. Some of these guys just need to play more and get more consistent and play better on the road. There's all those rhythms and things. Other games he'll show up and it's like 4 points, 18 minutes, 3 fouls, Bones. Come on. He just gave us bare bones. We need like some meat on the bones, Highland. You know what I'm saying? We need some wings. Hope you're getting some. Do you guys eat wings for Christmas? Man, jerseys, Buffalo Wild Wings. I love wings. But guys, once I start talking about wings, it is time for a break. So after the break, we're going to talk about 5 buys. Yes, this did say 5 buys for right now. As you're like sitting on the couch, freezing in northern Michigan right now. 5 buys or words of encouragement from Gary at Hoops and Cards. Back in a minute.